Ivy. I certainly appreciate it. I am a newbie. I do not have my own students yet. I am teaching on other platforms, but my ears are open, my mind is open, and I am ready to learn today.
Thank you. That's so wonderful to hear. Like, I love your energy. Like, you're already there, set for to just start and teaching independently. I know we talked before, and yeah, you have everything you need to actually start doing some referral marketing because you do have your ongoing current students, right? And that's just enough to begin with.
Ready to transfer them over to Abridge and
Right.
SuperTeacher. Yes.
That is wonderful. And I'm so happy to be part of your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Awesome. Hi, Vicky.
I go next. Hey, hi.
Hi.
I've been pretty lucky. All my students have been virtually through word of mouth, but I've got to the point. I have about 21, but I've got to the point now where I feel like I've exhausted all my options. I've offered sometimes even 2 or 3 free classes for like a parent appreciation referral program, and it's like, how many times can you do this? It doesn't seem to be I feel like I'm just, yeah, that there's not much more that I can do with whatever I've been doing. I need to do something different or push the bar out a bit more, because you have a smaller pool and social media hasn't really worked for me to the same extent. So I'd like to just use the resources that I already have more effectively. That's what I was hoping I could get out of tonight soon, if yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much, Vicky. And you just mentioned something super important. I want to mention Katie from Abridge Academy does have a separate event happening tomorrow. If you are registered with Abridge Academy, right, Katie? So it's for Abridge Academy teachers, where you can explore far beyond what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about mostly about online referral marketing, but I Katie is much more resourceful than I am in kind of expanding and opening up to other options you already have available, but maybe are not using them or just not thinking that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully you will get something valuable today. I will do my best. And that's
Okay, sure. Thanks.
here. Yeah. Thank you. Awesome.
Cheers.
Very good.
Thanks.
Okay. Does anyone else want to share? Don't feel pressured. It's okay. You can just grab coffee and I will understand. Yeah.
I'm Alicia from South Africa.
Mhm.
I've been teaching online now for probably 9 years, mostly through other platforms, but wanting to very much break into the market of doing it for myself. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I hope to learn a lot.
I love that. That sounds great. And you're also like, you're not just starting teaching online, but you do have lots of resources you can think of as resources actually for your future independent
Yeah.
teaching. I love that. Awesome. I think I saw Mel for a moment, but yeah, maybe she's off. Yeah. Does anyone else want to share? Yeah. Yeah, take your time. And in the meantime, I'm just going to share the screen to include the thing I prepared for our today's session to be kind of more practical and focused. Just to find it. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome, wonderful. Please do feel free to just unmute yourself, comment on anything, stop me, and just participate actively, or you can just chat. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ivy, and I'm a special educator, and I've been teaching online. Actually, I'm a special educator turned ESL teacher since 2016. I've been teaching with GoGo Kid, Dada ABC, and a few other online ESL companies, working both with adults and young learners. But since 2021, since I went private, like independent teaching, I just work with kids age 4 to 12. And yeah, 2 years ago, after the fall of Chinese market, and when we lost access to the student base and companies, is when I started building up a web app that's super useful for independent teaching. That's another story, but maybe we will mention it occasionally because it does have some tools for referral marketing as well. And it's called SuperTeacher. And what I would like us to begin with, that referral marketing is actually a strategy. It's not a one-time thing, just to add, Christine. Like when I first started thinking about it and learning about it, I just thought like that's a thing that's something I could just ask for from my friends and family and current students, and they could just share information about myself, and that's it. And in time, like I felt like it's not enough because this is like a one-time thing I could do sometimes. And so I figured it actually has to be, I mean, it can be a one-time thing, but it's better if you think about it as a strategy, as something you should include in your planning your business goal and reaching them. The other thing that's like a super cool fact, it's free. It just requires you to reach out to your social network and student base, if you do have one already. And it normally includes some kind of incentives to both the referrer, or let's say your current customer, the student or the parent, and the referred student. And these incentives usually can be discounts, class credits, freebies, etc. I think Alicia mentioned, or was it Vicky? I think Vicky mentioned that she's offering free trial classes, and she said something interesting. Yeah, right. Okay, so really then in time, like it becomes to be like not enough, or you can feel like you're giving too much, right, all the time, like free class all the time with the students all the time.
Especially lately, it feels I feel like I'm being exploited lately. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Because today we're actually going to explore other things you can offer, and these things can be just one-time things you create. I mean, you just put effort and energy into them in one sitting, so to say, and you can just spread or distribute them as new referred students come as offers or rewards. Oh, where am I? Okay, here we go. And so what makes a successful referral program, I found, is that, of course, it has to include incentives we mentioned briefly, but also tracking them. Like, you should not find yourself in a situation where a student or the person who is referring students for you reminds you of something, if you forgot to give them a free class or something. Like, you just have to be able to have a tracking system and to be proactive in that regard. Like, you should be the one letting your referrer know, hey, somebody reached out to you, thanks to me, thanks to you. I already appreciate your efforts. If they do sign up, follow up on them, share what's going on during your referral program in action, and make sure to include them in the process, because they're gonna get even more excited and interested into the, oh, who was it? Was it my friend? I did share in this group or that group, or I talked to my friends yesterday. Was it one of them? I just really want to know. And then that means they're also gonna follow up on that with that person and persuade them, like, not even intentionally. I mean, they're just gonna be more interested and engage during the referral process itself, right? And inform those referred students or friends even further for you. So make them part of your referral program. Promotion, that's something you can do online, offline, and in today's session, we're just going to consider ways you can do it online, like where you can share your referral program and how to do it. Make sure to, a good referral program, actually, it's a must to build trust and credibility, right? Just to stand your ground, to follow your own policy on the referrals, And if you do promise some kind of incentive, make sure to deliver, because it's something we don't maybe think of. Some people think it's not mandatory, you know. Sometimes maybe some of us will just create kind of an announcement like, I'm looking for new students. I have a few openings. If you do know somebody who is interested, please let me know. And then people do let you know. And what's going to happen next? Like how you're going to track, you know, if they actually get the reward, and the way they can actually see the benefit in referring you to their friends. Oh, Rala says, I've offered free trial classes. However, after sending 2 reminder emails, the students do not attend. Yeah, so you did offer them for free. And yeah, after sending 2 reminder emails, you mean before the class time, right? The students do not attend. I see that. Okay. Yeah, that happens. You know, if you do have experience teaching with companies, you can remember like what was the actually showing up rate with trial classes. Like there is a whole machinery behind, you know, offering referrals and attracting new students, right? The Chinese, I'm familiar with Chinese companies, like the way I would wake up having like 10 trial classes, and at the end of the day, only 2 or 3 would show up, with tons of marketing, with a whole team, specialist team doing the referral marketing for you, and you know the budget that goes into it. Yeah, so it is just normal. But I find like what works really well is including the person who is doing the referral for you in the process. Like make sure to check on them, to let them know what's going on if somebody has reached out, because that's the most natural way for them to also continue, you know, taking part in it and checking with that person, like if they need more information, if there is anything they need support with, becoming your student, right? Does it make sense, like everything we're talking so far?
Yeah. The only thing that I think is sometimes it's a fine line, because you want to include them, but they don't want to feel responsible for whether that other person does reach out or does sign up. And now you kind of making it their, not problem, like their responsibility. And I think, you know, they kind of want the benefits of the free class or whatever they're going to get without the pressure and responsibility on their shoulders of the referral actually signing up and following through.
Yeah, I agree. So most definitely, like you could just offer like sharing the first information, like, oh, thank you, there is a friend of yours that already reached out, and you will see how it goes from there. If they do want to know, or you know, I wouldn't push the buttons any further than that. Like I would just share.
Got it.
You notice that works already, because they feel like they already did something for you. And it's
oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you. What I have done, I wonder what your perspective is on this, is just send a message. If say they refer someone and I don't hear from them a couple of days after, I'll just follow up and say, hey, just checking in if there's anything your friend or whatever contact needs from me, and help. I'm here to, you know, if they want to reach out, and then I'll leave it at that. Is that okay, or is that hounding, do you think, or looking desperate?
I think that other person is going to reach out, has already reached out to you. So I wouldn't go through the friend any longer. Like as soon as they reach out, I would just ask them and lead them to book a trial class or ask any questions, including the parent who you are using, like your referrer. I just think keeping them in the loop with what's going on is just enough for them to stay motivated, and they will follow up. You don't have to ask them. I think I'm also curious what others think. Like if somebody has a different opinion or perspective, please do share. That would be awesome to learn from. Yeah. Okay. Maybe everybody agrees. Yeah. Now we are talking in theory, like, but when it comes to, you know, when it starts happening, it's only natural. Like I do advise having some kind of messages or, you know, prompts prepared. That's something you can do. But yeah, it has to be natural, in my opinion. There is no rule to that. Like you have to see what the response is from the actual parent or the person who is doing the referral for you. I can also share from my own experience, like whenever the parent for example, I would catch the moment when to offer the referral program or remind them of that. For example, if a parent comes and says, Ivy, we just had a test and her score improved, and I would be like, okay, wow, that's interesting to hear. Thank you for that. Do you mind sharing a little review, like letting me know what your experience, what's the difference between, for example, last month and today, like how do you feel her performance improved again? So I would catch that moment. I would normally follow on them. Like I would ask for a review, and then I will ask them to, once they write that, I would just ask them to share that with their friends and family, either on social media or just spread the word however they prefer. Because then they are, all in. They have the great experience learning with you so far already, and they're just willing to do it more naturally.
Okay.
Right. And also, if you feel like I'm still thinking about offering free classes as an only referral system, in that case, like if you feel it's getting too much for you, or maybe for them it's not interesting enough, you can just check with them, with those students who already are learning with you, who you already have, like what kind of incentive you will be happy with. Because it can be something different. Would you like to get some extra out of class learning resources, or maybe homework review? It can be an additional service. It doesn't have to be a free class every time or like forever, right? And that's
on that point, sorry
yeah.
to bite in. But like on that point, I've also found that like free trials don't tend to convert very well. I mean, giving the new student a free trial, fair enough, like, depending on the situation. That they do tend to appreciate that. But I find that giving my existing students free trials, like not trial, but like a free class as a thank you for referring a friend, like it's a bonus, doesn't really work very well, because most of the students that I'm targeting, and I think that's the same for most teachers here, they're paying for private classes, therefore they've got a reasonable amount of disposable income, right? To them, the price of a class is not a huge value added. They've already in the head budgeted for your classes. So giving them a free class is just more of the same thing, and it just so happens to be free. Whereas if you can offer them something that's a bit more unique and special that they can only get by referring a friend, that's sort of extra on top of what they'd normally have. That makes it feel like it's a little bit more special. So for example, this is something we did with ABHM's got our own tutoring program, and with our own students, something we've done as like a referral campaign has been to offer students a free gift specially chosen by their tutor as a thank you for referring a friend. If the friend bought a package, I think we said a minimum of 10 classes or something, then we give a free gift to the student who referred them. And the free gift, we didn't actually let the tutor choose it, we just chose ourselves. But we pretended it was specially handpicked by their tutor. And it would be something like a box set of books or something like an actual physical gift. And because they felt like it had been personally chosen for them, and it links into like the right level for what they were learning, because they're taking English classes, right? So a book that's in English but at the right level for them to actually be able to engage well with, and links in with that child's particular interests. And you could even link it in perhaps to some of the classes they've been taking, or given them a sort of specially themed class or something like that, perhaps. It felt a lot more special to them. Whereas a free class, to these parents, bear in mind that some of the parents, they would buy like 2 years worth of classes up front. Like, to them, a $20 class, whatever, that doesn't matter to them. Whereas a gift, like a personal gift, is a lot more valuable, even if the monetary value of it is the same price really as what you charge for a one-time class.
Okay.
It's personal.
And how would one do that? With China, it's difficult. I know there's, I think Serena, the Gifts or something that does it. Or are there people that one could contact? I've never used it or done it. So I'm open to ideas.
So I used to live in China, so I've maybe got more of a knowledge of how to use Chinese websites. But the most popular one in China is called Taobao. Taobao is like kind of like eBay or Amazon. And on Taobao, you can buy anything and everything, literally anything, including stuff like English books and things. They have those on Taobao. So you can buy things on Taobao. Taobao is all in Chinese though, and normally you have to like negotiate with the seller a bit. But it's not like negotiating on price, but just to negotiate like where to send it to. For some reason, they don't have an address field and weird stuff like that. Sometimes it's bizarre. So you kind of need to know a bit of Chinese. There's a service called Bao Pals. I'll write it in the chat. You can search them up on
Thanks.
WeChat.
Thanks.
Bao Pals.
Oh,
It's the same Bao from like Taobao, and then pals like friends. So that's where I think the name came from. And they're a service that mostly cater to expats in China ordering stuff on Taobao. If you don't know Chinese, they'll order stuff for you. And they also do international. They work with people internationally. I've not worked with Serena. I've seen people mention her on Facebook. Serena Gifts.
Yeah.
Could also be worth reaching out to. Or you can literally just order stuff on like our websites and get it delivered to China, but that's kind of expensive. Or you can do digital things. It doesn't have to be a physical gift. Like digital gifts are also appreciated. That could be like a game. It could be something you personally created for them. It could be a book of some kind. If you have a way of purchasing an ebook through, I don't know if you can gift Kindle books. I don't know if that's a thing. Probably not. But like, you know, if you create something personal for them or a game you've personally hand created for them, like a digital game, even better if it links into their English learning goals or like what they're interested in, and you customize it with their favorite cartoon character or something.
I love that.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, just a few ideas, things that worked.
I love that. I did use Serena the Gifts services, and she always had something like very affordable in the store. So because with GoGo Kid, it was allowed to actually exchange gifts with students. So I would do that, you know, for example, when they used to finish a level or a unit or have some kind of special milestone achieved, is when I would do that. And I would either use sometimes I would buy like digital stickers or sticker books or thank you cards or something like that, something small they would keep and cherish, or I would just order a book. Something depending on their interests, of course. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah, another idea I think can be really good, and that's something I did learn from NovaKid because I also still teach with NovaKid part-time, is to turn your referral marketing into a little competition to make it competitive. And that can go two ways. Like they can you can either scale the referral program. For example, if you refer 1 to 3 students and they sign up with me and purchase a package, then you will get, you can create tiers of rewards. That's something that might be worth thinking of. And the rewards then should be like, kind of set in value, like however you define it. Maybe the first one could be a digital product, then some kind of a resource library. It should grow as their referral marketing is actually successful. I think I've seen that being very motivating for some parents because they do, it depending again on the market. I'm talking like a little bit more niche down to Chinese market because they do their way. They do love sharing their children's success and everything. And especially if they can get something out of it, then they feel really like it's easy on them to do that. And the other way I've seen like being done from NovaKid is engage the parents to do, for example, a promo video or something and offer them special rewards, like something that can be really valuable for the student. So they would have to create a video or just share a clip on their social media. And then you would set some goals, like if it gets 10 views or 20 views, depending again on the social media or platform actually. Yeah, it can just be fun and ongoing. Maybe that's something like I just think a good tip is to avoid it being a one-time kind of action, but something ongoing. They can just feel like taking part in occasionally, but they do need to have the clear policy, like whenever you feel like you can join this referral program and participate in this and this and this in this way, right? Okay, let's skip the boring stuff because we already mentioned so many interesting things we could do. One other kind of referral incentive could be a discount, an additional discount. And in that regard, you can create maybe coupons or some kind of discount in your class packages. Like if, sorry, I'm also adding a few teachers joining us at the moment. So what I do have some kind of regular class packages discount, but if the parent is really like bringing students, which happened twice for me, like I did get 2 and 3 students from one single parent, then I was also thinking like I need a quick solution that works for them, and the parent let me know they would appreciate an additional discount. So it wasn't something that I thought of and offered, but I just asked like, wow, thank you so much. What can I do for you as a thank you? And then the mom was like, oh, an additional little discount would be, she just loves getting those, and it felt differently for her. Then you could offer access to some exclusive content. For example, if you do something outside maybe of just teaching one-on-one, you can offer them to join your group class. Or if you do create your teaching resources, you can create a little kind of resource library on your Google Drive or anywhere, and you can offer them access to that exclusively. Or a single resource, as Katie mentioned before, that can be, geared towards the student specifically, not some kind of general, resource library, but more personalized. I love that. Or it can be an additional one-time service. What happened to me once, and I really love that, I just didn't have time to devote to that idea, but the parent really appreciated if the student could come after school, because they were doing referral nonstop for me. And they were like, after school, when this girl Alice had class, parents wanted her to share what she learned about at school in an audio message through WeChat. And they said they would really appreciate if I could just write a little feedback when that happened. And that was like twice a week. If I could just correct her speaking a little bit, give a little feedback. And it was like one time thing. She would prepare, she would do all the work. She would work on preparing how to retell what happened at school that day in English class. And she would send me an audio of like a minute and a half of her speaking. And then I would give written feedback. Like I would just correct, because she already had everything prepared, She would write it, read it, practice retelling it. So that was something parents really appreciated. I'm guessing like maybe after, the next day she had English, maybe she did have to retell anything from the class before, right? So they found value in that, and they really appreciated that. But offering kind of feedback on either homework, anything you feel like you could do for them, is valuable. There are, some students who participate maybe in some kind of school competitions or performances or anything. You could be familiar with and just offer help, like a one-time service, right?
And approximately how long do you think it should last for? If you say one time, what, like a month, 2 weeks, a week? What?
Yeah, it depends on their referral success, I would say. Like this parent, I think it was my second student, and from them I got 6 new students. So for them, I was like, oh, I expect them to bring even more in the future, because they were always happy to share. So for them, it was something that lasted for a few months. Because for me, it was not a lot of work. For them, it was valuable. They will, they were appreciative of my time. It was happening like twice a week, 5 minutes exchange, 5 to 10 minutes, and that was all. Yeah, in time, I just didn't devote myself too much to grow my independent teaching business. Honestly, I am at 13 students now, and I do plan on adding like 5 to 6 more so I can teach Nova Kid. That's the plan at the moment. So that's why I also thought it could be valuable for us to talk about it and just share the strategies and see how we can go about it more successful. Nice. The other tip I find super useful, and a few teachers also told me, is create what they need to share. Don't ask, like, there is a teacher friend that says, I do it for them, and they just have to click share, in a way that she doesn't ask the parent to, take their time, write a message, add a picture, or take a clip from the class. She would do that for them. And she would just have a little clip, where the child is smiling, or a picture from the class, or a picture of a reward system, anything that's presentable to, show that the student was happy or learning, anything she wanted to achieve at that point. And then she would even create a little message and ask the parent if you were happy with that class. And she used to do that like almost weekly. Like if you're happy with the class, feel free to share. If this class was, you know, special or you loved it or anything, you feel like sharing it, here's what you could share. And she would just send a little screenshot with a simple message like, today we learned this and that. I got 10 stars, and then a screenshot of the class topic or something. I think that's a really interesting way to go about it, right? Because it is strategy in that way. Like it's something you can easily create. It is content you get from ongoing classes, and then you can just, you know, share with a parent as a feedback is what I saw. She's actually doing it as a feedback, a class feedback with a little message, you know, and yeah, snapshot from the class. I think it's always also good to ask for feedback, especially for students who did take classes with companies. You know, they are already used to giving written feedback within the platforms, right? I think they also had some kind of incentives with some companies. I think with GoGo Kid, there was a system like if they shared 7 feedbacks, back-to-back written feedbacks, they would get some kind of special points to get to purchase or yeah, not purchase, but get some freebies from the company itself, not me. Some gadgets, or I'm not sure what it was, the digital products. But if they were willing, you know, to leave feedback and review each class. Also, for example, NovaKid has that if you as a teacher get 7 consecutive thumbs up feedbacks, you would get a kind of incentive, you know, added. This is something like teacher incentive, but maybe worth mentioning, like that's something you could think of, like offer a little referral or maybe create something digital like a thank you card if they do leave feedback to your classes like every week or, you know, 3 times a week or whatever you think of, because then you can gather that social proof, like their feedback and testimonials and reviews and even success stories, however you think it would fit your needs, and it would be easy for them to provide you with, that you can then share and use it, right, in referral marketing. I haven't done that, but we do have like teacher Goran. I'm not sure if he's here. Like he started using SuperTeacher a month ago, and when I saw he already has like over 19 class feedbacks with 5 stars and students you know, leaving feedback, and he's starting to create flyers with that, putting them on his teacher profile and whatnot. So people are very, I mean, teacher friends can be really creative. I myself haven't done that much, but I think, yeah, I imagine like it has to work, right? Because it's authentic. Anything that's actually coming from our students, I don't see it can fail, right? Because that's what word of mouth marketing really is, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay. Some teachers create Facebook groups to attract to and then add their current students and ask them to invite, I mean, not Facebook group, but any kind of social media groups, and then ask those current students, be it or maybe friends to begin with, and ask them to invite their friends and family members who might be interested. And they would organize like regular events, maybe a monthly webinar or a group session for free. And then everybody who wanted to join would have to register, and that's a good strategy also to kind of you know, create maybe an email list that you can later use to just attract students. But that's different. That's maybe not, yeah, but it still is referral, right? If I invite my friends to join your group, then yeah, it still is. Yeah, partnering with others is also a strategy that might work, like maybe teacher friends from the community or anybody who is actually willing to refer students to you, right? Yeah, do you have any experience with that? No. Yeah, I did refer a few students back then, like when I was just starting, because at one point I was like, okay, I have to take care of these students first to get into the groove, you know, and then start teaching others. And yeah, that was, I didn't ask for anything. I just referred those students, and yeah, because I knew the teachers, and I was sure I was doing the right thing for both the student and the teacher. But yeah, maybe
I've
something.
had it, I've had it before where teachers I've previously worked with have referred students to me, like previously worked with in school, like as colleagues. I used to be a classroom teacher who have
Oh,
referred students to me, without me necessarily asking them. But I think, in a way, being a positive member of your kind of community and building your teacher network
mm,
means that, because I wouldn't refer someone to a random person on the internet, right? I sometimes get people like Facebook groups, and you see like they'll post, anyone have any spare students? Send them my way. I'm like, who are you? No, no one's going to send you students if you just randomly appear out of nowhere. But if you're like a valuable member of a community, people get to know you, and whether that's in person or online. But if they start to know and they trust you, and you're working in a slightly different area to them, say, like maybe you offer IELTS tutoring. Okay, I don't do IELTS, but I offer science-based, science-themed classes for students who want to study abroad, and I'm working on like the scientific English. So my target market, many of those students also want IELTS classes, because in order to get into a university overseas, they need to pass the IELTS exam. I don't know anything about IELTS. So if I have in my network of friends someone who is an IELTS expert, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll pass you on to teacher Sarah, because I know she's amazing at it. So I think something that's really important is you have to actually know people, if that makes sense. People have to know and trust you, but being a nice, friendly person. I have had teachers who I've personally worked with before refer me without me even asking, just reach out and say, oh, I've got a student who wants some help. Do you have, do you have some availability?
most
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. That makes sense to me as well. Like I'm always puzzled with those kind of posts because, okay, if I was an agent, that then maybe, I'm not sure how these people do that. Sometimes in the groups we do see some Chinese agents or parents wanting to refer students to you, but there will be like the whole procedure, as if they were a company. Send me a trial class, a snippet of your actual teaching, I need your biography, I need everything. So because that really does make sense, so they need to see who they are referring students to, right? But for us, like independent teachers, what might work is just, yeah, exactly that. Or for example, just recently, I think Mel was the one asking for a Spanish and German teacher, I think. So there might be something else. Like I know Angie, for example, she's offering knitting and crocheting, right? So if I do have an artsy student, I might as well suggest knitting or crocheting class with Angie. If I see like if my classes are getting boring or something, like I want to enrich their learning experience, But yeah, that's worth of considering, most definitely. I think so. And also, that's I think that's like a thing we never think about is how to engage those current students even more, so they start actually booking classes more and being more regular and everything. And in that regard, what I found worked for me is having the regular students invite their classmates to join a group session. And then that would, like, I didn't consider that to be a referral because it wasn't intentional at that time, but it can be something that works really well for you. Like just to, change the dynamics of a regular class. Once a month, let's invite your classmates and let's, have an English class together or something like that. And from there on, those students who would show up would be a perfect prospect to reach out to for one-on-one classes later on. Right.
Yeah, assuming they're at a similar level. I mean, as you say, classmates.
Yeah.
That's assuming. Because if you're in the middle of like reading Explorer or something, it's quite jarring for someone coming in who's not on the same level. If you get my gist. So yeah.
Most definitely. I've also seen teachers doing webinars or workshops for students, and these were like project based, when they would offer a kind of, for example, there was a teacher who did how to make mooncakes last year. I saw that, and this is a topic that everybody is familiar with. Her students, her target group was Chinese students, right? And she did take time to actually learn how to make this. How to make the mooncakes, which is, by the way, they say super. Katie, might be more familiar, but I've heard they're super hard to make, right? And she turned it into a total mess. It was so fun for everybody because students were also supposed to prepare and guide her, into making getting the actual mooncake, to finish the process, something like that. And then it was hilarious because they did invite family and friends. It was not about English at all. So her strategy was, let's have the teacher on stage, in the spotlight, and let's help her, or mislead her. It was very, very open to going either direction. But yeah, she didn't promote that as an English class. So it was like a cultural experience class or something like that. She wanted to learn from them, and the parents were genuinely interested. And I know she told me like she had over like 50, 60 students, actually kids, showing up during that session. And it lasted like over half an hour, something like that. And yeah, after that, I'm not sure, I didn't follow up and ask specifically like how many students signed up, but everybody knew about her. They were sharing, on social media, well, look at this teacher, she was hilarious, or trying to make mooncakes or something like about Chinese. Yeah.
I've done some webinars before which are more like aimed at parents as well. And I think this depends a bit on who your target market is, but bear in mind, if you're teaching kids, it's the parents are the ones with the credit card who are paying for the classes, right?
Yeah.
So they're the ones you actually need to persuade. And it's not really a referral strategy as such. This is more just like just running webinars in general, but running like a free webinar on something like, top 5 strategies for helping your child practice phonics at home or something, or depending on what your niche is, obviously. Or I did one on the 10 steps to getting into a top UK university, because that relates to my target audience. And it's like what the parents should be doing a few years in advance to help their kid get into a top university, and it's like laying out the whole strategy for them. Those kind of things as webinars. And then you have the opportunity to directly sell your classes because you're speaking directly to people who are buying. So one of my 10 strategies to get your kid into a top UK university was pay for tutoring with me, obviously.
I love
And that was quite effective.
Wow, this is super cool. Like you actually did give them a glimpse into it, like with specific value added, like nothing in there in clouds or something, very specific. And then if they wanted to even improve or expand on that. Love
I think
that.
the key is to give them the structure, but not the detail necessarily. In a webinar, I like that one, it was 10 steps to get your kid into a top university. I didn't go through in depth. That was more like, oh, your kid needs to be good at these skills. And then I was like, if your kid wants to be better at these skills, then you need to have classes, hence why you should buy classes with me. So it's kind of like you lay out the overall roadmap, but then you tell them in order to actually achieve the key stages in the roadmap, that's what you're there to help them with. Without being too salesy, but you're presenting them with the solution that they're looking for.
Yeah. And that doing that only after you actually showed and shared the value is what I love. It's not just I'm gonna do that for you, and I already did something for you. You can already take into account in action, right? Act upon it. I love that. Super cool. About memberships, I don't have this experience, but I've heard like recently, I know these teachers are talking about offering memberships to students where they would share special resources not available to others. Like you would have to sign up or bring on a friend, and then you would get free access if the friend would sign up. If you do have the experience with that, I would love to hear more. Yeah, but I think it can be like adding an additional income stream, especially if you are a creator. Like if you do create teaching resources or are willing to create ongoing resources like videos or maybe tips and tricks on learning English, or yeah. Yeah, I just listed here some options we can think about to move from offering free one-on-one classes. Like we talked already, I think we covered most of them. Like we could do a free group class where they can just invite friends, and then those students could be reached out for one-on-one class as well. Free learning resources, as Katie said, like I love that, for them to be personalized. for the membership thing, I was thinking of creating a resource drawer for my students where they would get regular after class activities like games to play, to review, or to practice even more further on the topic, where they would have a fixed like monthly membership. It wouldn't be much, but the idea would be for, to get a broader kind of student base signing up for that, and seeing value in it. And free mini courses or anything that would be ready-made for them to access and that you can actually recycle. You can offer multiple times. It's not something you have to do over and over, like a free one-on-one class, right? Is what made sense to me. Okay, maybe I just want to mention that lots of these things and ideas I shared today, you can also do on SuperTeacher. If you're not familiar with it, I'm just gonna give you like a 3-minute walkthrough to see what you can offer in regards of referral marketing. So I'm not sure, Vicky, you and a few other teachers, if you're familiar with it, if you've heard about this web app. Okay, it's just something, my kind of project I did based that came to life based on the exact needs, for teaching independently and taking care of all the admin and everything that comes, as a need. So it integrates the booking system, the payment processor, and student and teacher portal. And what you can do with it when it comes to referral, first thing you get is an actual teacher page. I'm just going to show you. It's best if I just show, not, sorry, SuperTeacher. Okay, this is my actual profile. I'm just going to show you what you can do with it. So you can offer one-on-one classes, group classes, subscription programs, and self-paced courses. And the benefit of it is you actually get your own teacher page where students see all of these things. It's alive. I mean, you're there. It's like a portfolio with full functionality for students to book classes and everything. And you can use coupons, is what I love. For example, I think you, Vicky, said like offering a free child class. It sounds kind of, it's okay, you do offer a free class, but what if you could offer a coupon instead? Like you're offering a class that costs $20, $10, with a discount, with a coupon discount. I think it sells differently. It sounds differently for the students, like they're not getting something for free, but they actually get the value of, let's say if they come to my calendar, for example, and see my class is $20, but I give them a special discount through a coupon. They can just apply. It's something interesting maybe to mention. Yeah, and you do get, okay, here. So this is my teacher page. Students do see the price, and I usually name the coupons by the student name. For example, I say, for example, Elsa and Mom. They love that. It's completely personalized. So once they type in their name, it gives them the discount. Just one thing they can do with SuperTeacher. And also, you do have the whole referral system where you can actually track your students. Let me show you. You get a unique referral link. And they also have this kind of referral link they can use to share with their friends and family. And then the system works for you in that regard. It's just, okay, it's loading. So here you can see I have referred, these are my students. This is a teacher, a test teacher I did to show you. This is an actual teacher I referred, a student, everything. So you have the tracking system included in it. You can see when they sign up. For me, it's helpful to see when I should reach out. As soon as they are listed here, I can tell if I miss them, like if they were, registered in November, like this student. Okay, she is on board now. But you can follow up and see and track your referral program if it's working or not. And then kind of, not miss on anybody referring someone and then you forgot to kind of share the incentive with them. Yeah, if you want to learn more about it, feel free to reach out to me. This is not any kind of a sales pitch or anything. I just wanted to mention in this context today, like what you can do. Yeah, and that's about it. That's what I planned. I did prepare a lot of kind of tips and tricks in the presentation itself, so I'm gonna put it together in a mini course. That's what I always do, Vicky. I know other teacher friends are familiar with that, but after the webinars, I would put like templates, anything I gather or think of that's going to be also free, of course, available on SuperTeacher. So there is a training center. You can also check out previous webinars and teacher trainings and whatnot, just to explore and to see. Like last Wednesday was super interesting. Many teachers said it was useful. We talked about how to sell programs, not classes. So when you open any of these little mini courses, is what I call them, is where you will see like what it's all about. There will be the replay and the presentation. And if I was thinking of creating a little list of these messages or prompts, like what should your referral message include, maybe just as ideas, maybe to inspire us further, or maybe even create an open list we can all add to and grow together, like what might work for everybody. Yeah, well, we're already an hour in. Are you tired?
No.
Like yeah, I feel like it's a good place to maybe stop or take a break or whatever you feel. Is there anything else you would expecting to learn or would love to learn or discuss today on the topic? Let me just stop sharing. Stop sharing. Yeah. Yeah, and before that, I would totally invite you, like Katie, if that's okay. I didn't discuss that with you, but I'm just, yeah, I would love to invite everybody to join you tomorrow. I'm not sure if they teachers have to register, or would you like to share a little bit? And maybe I think it's a perfect, like a natural, step two, maybe to today's topic. I feel
Sure,
like.
yeah. So thank you, Ivy, for a really great webinar, really interesting, and always awesome to hear everyone's ideas and stuff on referral marketing and things like that. So yeah, really cool. I don't know, I'm not doing a whole promo thing, but I'm doing a program. What's that sort of word? You distracted me. You're talking about programs and classes earlier, Ivy. I'm doing a training thing tomorrow for Abridge Academy teachers. It's only for Abridge Academy members though, but you're welcome to join if you're keen. And it's going to be on primarily offline or like non-social media strategies for finding students. It doesn't require loads of like social media strategies. We're not going to talk about referrals and stuff, but like other things that you can do to find students much more easily through sort of less well-known, less traditional kind of approaches, I guess, would be a kind of good summary. But yeah, that's the plan tomorrow. If anyone's keen, it's on the Abridge Academy website. If you just go to abridgeacademy/webinars.
So Katie, if you're not a member of Abridge Academy, are you still able to, am I still able to attend or no?
So it's just for members, but
Okay.
if you send me a message on Facebook, I might be nice and send you the link. I can put it in the chat. There's only a few. I think everyone here is nice. I could send you guys a direct link. Let me just do that.
Yeah, and
it's just for people who are live today, though.
Yeah,
so
maybe you can clarify like the membership actually also free users and paying users, right? It includes
yes.
everybody. So you don't have it's free to register is what I'm.
Yeah, so we have a free tier and we have paid tiers. The webinar I'm trialing just for paid members at the moment to sort of try it all out and see how things are going. But I do sometimes do things that are more public. So I'm trying to find a link right now. I'll put it in the chat. This is a direct link. You don't need to be a member. I'm going to put it in the chat. This is the one. Please don't share this link outside of this.
Thank you so much.
But if you guys want to come along to the webinar tomorrow for free, you can do it in the chat. You don't have to join. Just take it says what membership you are, just take a random membership, it's fine. But yeah, if you want to come along. That is all about non-traditional marketing. I don't know what word for it, but like actually it's more like traditional marketing strategies before the internet became a thing. It might be a better description of it. And how you can find students without stress of social media.
I love that. because I never thought about it before I saw your webinar invitation and idea. And like, we are so focused on, these little screens of ours because we do teach online that we just forget and don't see some obvious things and resources available to us. I'm so excited for it.
Yes,
And said, thank you, Katie.
There's also, I think, a lot of people focus on like Chinese market and stuff, and I'm kind of guilty of doing the same. So it would be good if you want to try and branch out to other students rather than just the Chinese market, social media, that focus that a lot of people have. So yeah.
Thank you in advance.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, maybe we can stop here if there is anything else you would want to comment on or just add. And I hope it was useful and interesting, bouncing ideas of each other, and that we feel more kind of inspired or supported to go ahead and grab those students and use the resources we have already, right, to grow our student base.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. It was wonderful meeting you today, all. And I will let you know via email, like once the mini course is ready, so you can just grab the additional resources available. Thank you. Okay, talk soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Ivy.
Bye. Thank you.
It was great.
Bye.
Thank you. Hey, hi.
I don't know if you're busy or not. It's cool.
Hi. I'm not. I just want to stop recording.
That's cool.